Discover how the power of storytelling can make your brand unforgettable, forge deep emotional connections, and unlock actionable strategies. Plus, a personal tale of how it transformed everything for us and businesses you know. I couldn't be more excited about today's topic specifically. For me, it's something that every marketer, every entrepreneur, every small business owner you can think of can benefit from. What is that? Storytelling. Yes, storytelling. Specifically, today I want to explore how you can use storytelling to make your brand unforgettable. Because let's face it, people just don't buy products or services. Today, what they really crave are the stories behind those products or services, right? So, I want to cover the following areas: why storytelling works, how emotional connection drives engagement, some actionable tips to craft compelling brand narratives. Those are three key components we're going to talk about today. What's up, everyone? This is Fit for Business with me, Jarod Lehn. Welcome to episode 54. And for those of you who don't know, I'm the owner and founder of Socialtopia. We're a digital marketing agency now, we could say, based out of Monroe, New York. We've been in business just a little bit over 7 years today. This past November marked our 7th year. Storytelling. Let's talk about it, guys. Storytelling in branding, it's really all about creating experiences that deeply resonate with your audience, rather than just pushing an agenda or pushing messages at them, right? It's really not just about what, it's about the why and really that emotion behind it, right? Let's talk about Nike, right? For instance, Nike. They don't merely sell shoes. We all know that at this point in the game. They share inspiring stories of athletes and people like us, everyday people, overcoming this one thing. And what is that one thing? That one thing is adversity. Adversity. This approach transcends products and forges a connection. You can just feel that shit, right? It makes the consumer or customers feel like they're part of just something bigger, we'll say, right? On a psychological level, us humans are hardwired to connect with stories, narratives that stimulate the emotional part of our brains. Let's just face it, it's a truth, making the information far more memorable than plain facts. Research even shows that people are 22 more times likely to remember a story than a standalone fact. So by weaving stories into your branding, you can anchor your message in the hearts and minds of your audience, ensuring that it lingers long after the interaction ends, right? So that's something different we're spitting on now today, right? We talked about value-added content for so long, but here we are. It's 2025. Now we are shifting the narrative as well and getting more into this storytelling, right? So to dive deeper down the rabbit hole, I feel storytelling also serves as really a powerful way to stand out in these competitive markets that are just, fucking flooded. Excuse my language. Well, flooded across platforms like Meta, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. It's so flooded with marketers like us, flooded with, fitness entrepreneurs, flooded with home service professionals that are in your industry, just flooded with small businesses trying to stand out like a needle in a haystack. Consumers like myself are overwhelmed with choices, let's be honest. And the compelling narrative can be the key this year to differentiating your brand or product. Let's do this. Yeah. Consider small coffee shops, right? They don't just sell coffee, but they highlight the dedicated farmers behind their beans. By emphasizing these meaningful connections, they really can create an emotional bond with their customers or consumers while showcasing their unique story, right? So, ultimate storytelling elevates your brand beyond products and the services. It's a tool to share meaning, build trust, and create a loyal following. When done right, it can help transform your business into something people want to rally behind. A brand that feels personal, unforgettable, and deeply impactful. Emotion plays a fundamental role in branding because it can transform your business into something more than just a provider of goods or services, right? It can make you relatable. And that's what we're talking about. Making it more relatable to the people you're targeting, whatever that audience may be. And again, when your audience feels that emotional connection to your brand, they are now seeing your business as a part of their story, not just a transaction. And that's the beauty of storytelling. This relatability builds trust, and the trust is the cornerstone and the foundation of customer loyalty. Customers are far more likely to stick around with a brand that aligns with their feelings, values, and aspirations. A great example is of emotional branding comes from, let's say, a local gym owner, right? This local gym owner goes beyond promoting workout plans to sharing stories of client transformations. Imagine hearing about a client who gained the confidence to tackle obstacles or really rediscover their sense of purpose, through fitness. These stories just don't highlight the services offered, but tap into the emotions that really inspire and engage potential customers. This type of storytelling makes people feel connected and invested in the brand's success, right? So, to tap into the emotional hook of your own brand, begin by just identifying a simple thing like Simon Sinek says. Hope I didn't butcher his name. Your why. What ignited your passion and drove you to start your business? Reflecting on this, I think, can repurpose or purpose can cover the emotional thread that runs through your brand's narrative, right? So when you share your motivations and your values openly, customers not only understand what you do, but also why you do it, giving them a reason to connect with your story. It's equally important to consider your audience's perspective, right? What problems are they trying to solve? And how do you go about making their lives better? Solving that problem is one part, but aligning with their values takes another connection, and it can take that to another level. Highlighted shared beliefs, aspirations, or challenges really to create a sense of community. So when customers see themselves reflected in your brand, they don't just buy, now they belong. Authenticity is the cornerstone of impactful storytelling. Your audience values sincerity and can quickly detect when a message feels forced. To forge a genuine connection, right? Let's talk about sharing personal stories or even challenges you faced. Here's another example. When launching a podcast, opening up about the struggles, find the right equipment and lessons learned can make your brand, my brand, feel more relatable and just human overall. Here's the deal. Being vulnerable, guys, not only helps build trust, but it also is going to highlight your authenticity again, showcasing that your brand is built on real experiences and growth. So, here's another powerful technique, storytelling, creating a hero's journey, where your customer takes center stage as the hero. Focus on how your product or service helps them overcome adversity and emerge stronger. Think of that as positioning your brand as the guide that empowers the hero. For instance, instead of just promoting a product, craft a narrative that really illustrates how it solved a problem or improved the lives of those customers. So when a customer can see themselves in these stories, it really strengthens their connection to your brand. Visuals and personal testimonials can amplify your story's impact. Pairing with narratives, with photos or videos, or heartfelt customer testimonials, this is what helps bring your brand to life, right? For example, a home service professional could feature a testimonial, time and time again, we've talked about this, from a customer whose life improved after a custom deck install, right? Hearing how someone recounted how the space transformed, family gathering adds depth and credibility to your story, making it just more engaging and memorable for potential customers. Finally, simplicity and consistency are key to effective storytelling. Try and stick to a clear structure with a beginning, middle, and an end. This is going to keep the narrative engaging and easy to follow along. And at the same time, ensure your story is consistent across all your platforms, right? from your social media to your email. So by aligning these brand messages at every touch point, you're really creating a seamless experience that's reinforcing your narrative and keeps your audience connected to your brand story. I think a common mistake in storytelling is making it all about your product, then really focusing on your customers. While it's natural to want to highlight what you offer, stories that center solely on the product can really feel self-serving and disconnected. Instead, let's shift the focus to your customers, showing their challenges, success, and how your product or service fits into their lives. When customers can see themselves reflected in your narrative, they're far more likely to feel a meaningful connection to your brand. So here's another pitfall in using too much industry jargon in your storytelling, which can confuse or even alienate your audience. While technical or specialized language might feel impressive, right? It often creates a barrier between you and your audience because maybe they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Maybe that's making your message harder to relate. Instead, try to prioritize clear, straightforward, and relatable language that really resonates with your audience. The end goal is to make your story accessible and engaging, not overly complicated. All right, finally, but not lastly, forgetting to include a call to action, a CTA, right? This, I think, is a storytelling misstep that can limit your engagement, right? So get these people to the next step. Every great story or good story draws the audience in a bit, but at the end, you should also guide them to, what's next to do, whether it's visiting your website, subscribing to your podcast, or sharing their own stories. Without having that clear, identifiable CTA, the people listening or watching, you enjoy your narrative, but they're going to fail to go to the next step if there is one, missing the chance to deepen their relationship with your brand overall. Well-placed call to action ensures storytelling doesn't just inspire, but it's driving people to the next step. We all know stories are powerful. They're a tool for creating emotional connections. They really allow your audience to relate on your brand, right? And on a personal level. Remember, your customers are the true heroes in your narrative, right? While your brand plays the role of providing the solution they need. So, by consistently and intentionally crafting your storytelling across every platform, you not only build a trust, but also engage your audience in meaningful ways. That can leave a lasting impact. I think to me, the most memorable brands aren't the ones who shout the loudest, but, the ones that make you feel something. Well, that's all we have for you on this week's episode of the Fit for Business podcast. So guys, if you like what you heard and this is your first time, watching us on YouTube, if you could do us a solid and tap that subscribe button. Or again, if you're listening for the very first time on Spotify, please go ahead and tap that follow button. We appreciate you and we'll see you next week.